It turns out that the mountains around us are not rocks at all, but sleeping giants, and now one of them has suddenly awakened. The whole country is in panic, and scientists and the military must decide what to do with him, destroy him or try to make peace. A young woman named Nora climbs to the top of one of the highest mountains in Norway. It's extremely dangerous, and at one point Nora slips and ends up hanging from her gear. Her father Tobias teases her from above as he climbs alongside her. They finally reach the summit and admire the breathtaking views. Tobias tells her that before them stands the troll wall. According to legend, these aren't mountains but a sleeping troll turned to stone. At first the girl doesn't believe it, but then she takes a closer look and notices something strange. The mountains really do resemble the silhouettes of trolls. Good thing they're asleep. 20 years pass. Archaeological excavations are underway on the coast of Norway. We see that Nora has become an experienced paleontologist. She uncovers fossils beneath the soil that look like the bones of a real giant. Meanwhile, construction work begins in the Dovre Mountains. A railway is planned to be built here. Local activists protest, demanding the preservation of wildlife, but no one listens to them. Workers drill a huge tunnel through the mountains and use explosives to expand it. When the workers enter the tunnel, they hear rumbling and growling. They immediately run toward the exit, chased by some unknown creature. At Norway's Armed Forces Operations Headquarters, a state of emergency is declared. The military immediately board their aircraft and head to Dovre. The Prime Minister is briefed on the situation. The video footage clearly shows enormous footprints. Meanwhile, Nora and the other archaeologists celebrate their most successful day at the dig site. A military helicopter lands nearby. Several armed soldiers exit it and demand that Nora accompany them to Oslo. Nora speaks with the Prime Minister's advisor, Andreas, as well as other politicians and military officials. She is an experienced paleontologist, and the authorities need to hear her opinion. She is shown video footage recorded by one of the activists. It seems that people were attacked by some unknown creature. An elderly couple is having lunch in a small house near Mount Dovre when they notice their dog becoming anxious and barking loudly. Soon everything around them begins to shake. They quickly rush to the basement while someone, or something, destroys their house. When the elderly couple comes outside, they see that they no longer have a home. The Prime Minister appoints Nora as a scientific advisor and sends her to Dovre. Andreas is assigned to accompany her. During the flight, Nora admits that her father went insane and they haven't spoken in years. After landing, Nora is greeted by Captain Christopher Holm, or simply Chris. The officer reports that an unknown monster crossed the valley and moved south. The team talks to the elderly couple whose house was destroyed by the giant creature. The couple claims that a real mountain attacked them. Nora heads to the ruins of their home. She notices a strange smell near the area. She then descends into a crater shaped like a giant footprint. The woman recalls an old fairy tale about trolls and smiles sadly. The team heads south and notices that at some point the footprints disappear. But such a massive creature couldn't have vanished without a trace. Nora visits her father, Tobias. The man truly looks deranged and even threatens everyone with his rifle. Nora, Andreas, and Chris enter his house. They tell the old man that an unknown monster emerged from the mountain today. Tobias, a folklore expert, may be able to help them. The old man says it was a troll. He had tried many times to warn other people about it, but he was locked in a psychiatric hospital for several years. Now the team believes him, so they take Tobias with them. The old man carefully examines the place where the tracks disappear, and he notices a topographical anomaly. There is a mountain here that shouldn't exist. It turns out that it's not a mountain, but a massive sleeping troll, and Nora with her father accidentally woke it up. The team runs toward their helicopter. The troll rises to its feet. It reaches 50 meters in height. Chris contacts the authorities and sends them the video footage recorded from the helicopter. Now everyone realizes that it really is a troll. It turns out that the troll moves at night and turns to stone during the day, which makes it difficult to detect. The Prime Minister orders the start of a military operation. Nora, Tobias, and Andreas ask Chris for permission to take them along. It's very dangerous, but the captain agrees. Soon the troll wakes up, and the military is immediately ordered to use weapons. However, the weapons don't do much harm to the giant, only anger and irritate it. Even artillery and tank fire cannot bring it down. Fire does not scare it either. The military retreats, and communication with them is lost. Some soldiers begin to pray. Alas, the prayers do not help either. Tobias approaches the troll and tries to talk to it. At first it seems the giant is listening carefully, but when the military uses weapons again, the troll becomes angry and attacks. In his final moments, Tobias manages to tell his daughter that the answers to all questions must be sought in the king's palace. Chris announces that they will deploy tactical weapons and combat aircraft to stop the troll. Nora recalls the legend that trolls hate Christians and even throw boulders at churches to avoid hearing the sound of church bells. The woman suggests to the Prime Minister using this sound to scare the troll away. Yes, it sounds crazy, but there are no other options for now. The troll continues on its path. Soon it will reach a large amusement park. People there are having fun and suspect nothing. Suddenly, everything starts shaking. Alas, it's not an earthquake, but a real troll. Panic erupts in the park, and people scatter in all directions. Military helicopters appear in the sky. They use not weapons, but a sound attack with church bells. Unfortunately, instead of scaring the troll away, it enrages the giant even more. The troll destroys everything in its path, demolishing buildings and even taking down helicopters. Surprisingly, when one of the downed helicopters falls toward a child, the troll catches it and saves the girl. Nora realizes she was wrong. First, church bells are a bad weapon. Second, this troll is smarter than he seems. All international news agencies broadcast this story around the world. Meanwhile, the troll continues on its path and will soon reach Oslo, the capital of Norway. The government decides to evacuate the residents of the capital and prepares to use nuclear weapons against the troll. Not everyone likes this option, as it may cause more harm than good. All dissenters are immediately fired, including Nora and Andreas. The Prime Minister addresses the nation and asks everyone to remain calm. The residents of Oslo must urgently leave the city. Nora remembers her father's words about the royal palace and decides to go there. Andreas goes with her. Security won't let them inside, but near the palace one of the lords, Ricardo Sinding, appears and invites them in. Sinding reveals the greatest secret to Nora. On the side of this palace there once was a dwelling of trolls. In the underground area there is still a huge crypt with the remains of these giants. Hundreds of years ago they were all destroyed by order of King Olaf. Perhaps the awakened troll is the last of their kind. Which means Tobias was right. Trolls lived in Norway until they were exterminated by Christians. And the truth survived only in tales and legends. Nora realizes the troll is heading to Oslo because this is his home. She also realizes that the giant is afraid of direct sunlight. Nora contacts Chris, and together they come up with a new plan. Soon the troll bursts into the capital. Gunfire, chaos, and destruction begin. Conventional weapons have little effect. The military loads nuclear warheads. Andreas contacts a hacker named Sigrid and asks her to hack the security system and stop the launch. She blocks the missile launch from already airborne planes. Nora, Chris, and a small group of soldiers also arrive in Oslo. Another squad soon joins them. The troll gradually destroys the city. Nora and Andreas use the skull of one of the troll children as bait. The troll follows them, and our heroes try to lead it to the outskirts of the city. There, a group of soldiers is supposed to prepare a trap for it, a powerful ultraviolet lamp from local solariums. Nora and Andreas notice that they've lost the skull. It rolled out of their truck. The troll finds the skull, looks at it sadly, and then accidentally drops it. The troll roars desperately. Nora and Andreas try to run away from it. The giant chases them and soon reaches the flashes of the ultraviolet lamps. This stops it. Nora suddenly feels very sorry for the last troll on the planet. She turns off the ultraviolet lamps and shouts at the giant to return to the mountains. However, it's already too late. The sun rises, and its rays destroy the giant. The troll turns into a huge stone hill. Andreas and Nora discuss whether there could be other trolls left in Norway. We see a huge pile of rocks in the Dovre Mountains. It starts to move, and a deafening roar is heard.